Hello and welcome to Top Hat Chat Live with me, Street and Orb. Today on the channel it's episode 27 of the Great Gaming Debate, where we are going to be discussing whether or not the Dreamcast is better than the Xbox.
And it is. Good night. Thank you for watching.
Well, that kind of defeats the whole point of having kind of a 20 to 30 minute slot to discuss these things, where we each take up an opposing side. So it looks like I'm going to be have to taking up the Xbox's side, which I would have done anyway because it's considerably better.
No, well, that shows how ignorant you are of the ways of the Dreamcast. We're about to educate you and tell you why the Dreamcast is infinitely superior. But I'll let you kick off.
Why we?
We, well, you know, people.
You in the chat.
Synergy. Yeah.
You in the chat are going to tell me.
Yeah, exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay,
that.
so we've got a few topics that we need to talk about first of all. And the first thing we're going to cover off is kind of a bit specky. Well, not specky, but releasey. Because I think this is important to note. The Xbox came later and had better technology, therefore better console.
Why does that make it a better console?
Well, it just had more power. It did everything right, apart from marketing. But yeah, 2001, 2002 it came out. So the end of 2001, start of 2002. And the Dreamcast came out in 98. And then actually stopped production in 2001. It had a 3-year run.
It burnt brightly. And the candle that burns the brightest burns for the shortest length of time, you see.
It's not necessarily true.
No, it is.
It would be debating on what the candle's made out of. I mean, if you had...
It's made out of SEGA awesomeness.
If you had wax and phosphorus, maybe.
It was a bright burn. It was an intense, short little burn. But it left an indelible mark on the console market.
Like a shit stain.
How dare you.
It was. So yeah, it was a nice big shit stain in the life of gaming. And yeah, it's... I mean, let's talk about the power differences. I mean, the Xbox was considered to be almost PC-like.
In what way? It was massive and clunky.
Yes. And
made lots and lots of noise.
Yeah. It's perfect. It's great.
Well, no, it's not great. I mean, like, you can bang on all you want about the power behind the console and the technology behind the console, but let's talk about one of the most important technological aspects that the Dreamcast bought that the Xbox didn't, and that's the VMUs, the visual memory units.
Possibly the most pointless things in existence.
It was an awesome gimmick. It was lovely stuff.
Gimmick is the word. You said it yourself. Gimmick.
The Ultimate Warrior was a gimmick, and look at how impactful he was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He never really got over on me.
No, you might not have got over with you, but it got over with lots of little people. They loved it.
So did Hulk Hogan. Look at him now. Racist.
How dare you? Leave Terry out of this.
Terry.
Leave Terry out of this.
But yeah, I mean, the VMUs were useless gimmicks. They didn't really add anything to your experience. What did they do?
What, the VM... Right, so...
What did they
do?
The
main function I remember them being used for was for the chows on... is it chows or cows? Oh,
chows,
I think it's chows. On Sonic Adventure. And you could, like, Tamagotchi them up on there. It was awesome. And then you slot it in. And it just gave you little, like, nice visual sort of details about the game that you were playing and so forth. You know, it wasn't the most well-used gimmick, but it was cool. And the Xbox didn't give you that. So that's a win.
The
Xbox pad in general wasn't as nice as the Dreamcast pad.
The first one? The second one was fine.
We're not talking about the second. I'm talking about the launch pad.
That was only out for, what, like 6 months?
But it was awful. And the Dreamcast pad was lovely. It looked like the Starship Enterprise. And it had a docking station for the VMU. Not that sort of docking, but
docking. No, the Duke, as it's now referred to.
The Arnold Rimmer of controllers.
It was only out on release for a little while, and then they changed the design because they listened to what the people wanted and gave it to them. Unlike Dreamcast, or SEGA, who were sat in their ways so much that they failed in 3 years.
As I said, look, no, it's because the awesomeness was so intense. It could only keep it up for 3 years.
No.
SEGA had fucked up. on their last couple of releases for their consoles. You know, there was
In many ways.
there was the whole kerfuffle about doing the 32X add-on and the Sega Mega CD add-on, and then they fucked that up by releasing the Saturn, which was a superb console. It just didn't get the support that it deserved, and it just didn't hit the sales figures required. So Sega were always starting on a back foot. And then
Microsoft had 0 console sales previous to this.
but they had mega bucks behind them. They were never going to fail.
So did Sega if they hadn't pissed it all up the wall.
Trying to innovate.
Probably fucking Christmas parties.
No, look.
And fucking amusement parks that were shit and never went anywhere.
The internal trouble and strife that was in Sega Japan and Sega of America caused the big downfall.
And segregation.
It wasn't segregation.
It was. They were completely separate entities. They were like, I'm going to do this and you do that. Go over there and do that out of my vision, please.
But I think we can agree that in terms of controllers, in terms of visual memory units, in terms of just general awesomeness of technology, the Dreamcast wins.
But it doesn't. Let's talk about the online.
The online, okay, right. This is another area where the Dreamcast comes at you. As Richard Top Hat come on here and said a little while ago, whilst bashing the PlayStation 2 for being a multifaceted console because you could use it as a DVD player as well as a home console, and he said that was endemic of how bad it was because so only poor people would use that, and then openly admitted to surfing the internet on a Dreamcast.
Yeah. I remember this.
And then he clammed up very quickly when I brought that up, and he was like,
Yeah.
But, I'm willing to overlook his lameness for the fact that you could surf the internet on the Dreamcast.
Yes, you could.
Phantasy Star Online on the Dreamcast was many people's first experience of home console online gaming.
Yeah, it was good.
What did the
You can't
Xbox
argue
do?
it. Proper competitive online gaming.
That was built on the back of what Dreamcast did.
They took it and made it better.
They took it. They stole it.
They did.
Without the Dreamcast, you wouldn't have had Halo Online and all that.
You would have done.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, you
because
would.
Dreamcast perfected it. Dreamcast are the originators.
Sorry, did you just say they perfected it?
They perfected it in terms of the fact that
Did
it'd never
you
been done before,
Did
and
you
then they
ever
made it
use
workable. Shut up! It's better.
Did you ever use it?
I come from a very modest means.
So you never used the...
Oh, right,
Dreamcast
so are
online?
we now ragging on the fact that I was poor when I was growing up? Is that what this is? This is typical Xbox, isn't it?
I didn't have it.
You're riding me because I was poor and I couldn't afford a fucking modem and shit.
I didn't.
God.
I didn't have one myself, right? But I had a cousin that did, and I used it. And every time I ever used it, might have been due to his internet, but every time I ever used it, it was a bit of a laggy mess. It didn't really do what I wanted it to do.
Could you watch porn on your Xbox?
But there was one game.
From the internet.
There was one game.
Not that one, it's illegal. On the internet.
No.
I could on a Dreamcast if I had the internet.
But you didn't have the internet. Anyway, it doesn't make a difference. The real thing that happens with all consoles, because you can argue anything. I mean, the Super Nintendo is one of my favourite consoles of all time. And for some stupid reason, the NES is people's favourite console of all time, despite everything that came afterwards. And people say that was due to the games.
The games. Well, now this is where the Xbox is gonna, falter exponentially because the Dreamcast had so many better games. But I'll let you kick off with whatever shower of shite you're about to bring to the table.
It had a handful of games.
A hand shandy of games.
That were okay. But let's look at the most important game in the original Xbox library, and that's Halo. Halo was a ridiculously good game. Amazing.
Halo 2 was better.
Halo 2 was better. It had the online, which was amazing. Better than the Dreamcast.
That they stole from the Dreamcast.
But Halo 1 was ridiculous. It was a console shifter. When the Xbox released, there was only a handful of titles, and I think they said that they sold a ridiculous amount in the first 3 weeks. Yeah, I mean, it didn't do as well after that. It was kind of... Sorry, it was a fly.
Caught it though, well done.
I did. Yeah, so... It had Halo. What have you got to combat that?
What, Halo?
Yeah.
Well, how about a little... I'm not going to go down the route of first-person shooters.
Okay.
I'm going to bring out a little game called think you might have heard of it. Shenmue.
Shenmue was okay.
And Shenmue 2.
Yeah, I never really super got on with it. Again, Top Game Man loves it. He raves about it.
Weebs the world over love it.
Saw him play it on stream. Wasn't impressed.
Look, I admit, it's not aged terribly well. But for sheer impact and rose-tinted nostalgia factor, Shenmue has a lot going for it. It was an incredibly deep RPG experience. It really was, like the storyline and the storytelling and just the depth of mechanics that were in the game.
Yeah.
It really made it feel like a life sim before the life sim style of games really took off.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it such an impressive feat of gaming engineering. It really is.
I think that you're sucking its cock a bit too much, but we'll move on. You had other games. You had Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball.
Right. It's hard to brag on this because I never owned the original Xbox. A friend of mine did and had a load of copied games for it. And one of them was Dead or Alive Volleyball. Now, the only thing I'd ever played Dead or Alive was obviously the fighting games. So I was like,
the ones that were actually games, you mean?
And they were shit anyway, let's be honest. Like, Dead or Alive wasn't very good. Like, it wasn't. I was like, oh, a volleyball game? Well, this must be pretty interesting. Like, you know, Tekken had added some extra modes to Tekken 3 and stuff on the PlayStation at this point. It's like, is it kind of like a fleshed out version of that? And it was fleshed out in all the right areas. It was boob jiggle physics simulator.
Yeah.
And like the mini games inside of this game, which was a giant mini game, were so bad. But like that prepubescent turning into pubescent person that I was at the time, loved it because it's like, look at all these Chinese virtual girls.
Are they Chinese?
Yeah, mainly.
Never really got into the story of Dead or Alive Extreme Beach
They've all got
Volleyball.
names like Zhao Wu and stuff like that. So
I didn't really know their names either. Which was about right up until I was 25.
I knew their statistics though.
Dude. Do you still remember them?
No, not anymore.
So what have you got to combat Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball? What have you got to combat that?
A little game that I enjoyed a fuck ton of on the Dreamcast.
Go.
Toy Commander. No, man. Toy Commander's a great little game.
Really?
It is a great little game. It was one of the games that they really hammered out. It was a release title and you could play it a lot in things like Electronics Boutique and Game at the time before as the console was coming out, which really got me excited for it. And when I actually got to play the full version, I really enjoyed Toy Commander. It was a fun little vehicle combat kind of game. Okay. Based around toys. Toy Story was still quite a big thing back then. Obviously, it was about 4 years removed from the release of the original.
Small Soldiers?
Small Soldiers. Well, yeah, I love Small Soldiers. That film probably come out about a year before the release, or of the year of release, actually. And just the idea of having these alive toys and the planes and stuff like that. It was really fun. I super enjoyed it. There's a lot of fun to be had with that game.
It was okay at best.
I think that's a little harsh, man. I think that's a little harsh. If you're going to start espousing Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball, which as a game is fucking wank, like as a game.
That was not a great choice of words.
No, it was, because that's all you wanted to do whilst you played it. You didn't actually want to play the game.
Yeah.
But when you look at the actual gaming behind Toy Commander, the gaming was really good. I love Toy Commander.
Okay, so let's look at another game. It had Morrowind. The Xbox had Morrowind.
Yeah, Morrowind's fantastic. Morrowind's really, really good. I loved Morrowind. It was a game that got me super interested into the Elder Scrolls. It was very hard for me at that time, like in the sense of the game is really deep and really it's not user friendly at all.
I mean, you probably were doing about 13, 14.
No, I was younger, so I think it come out did it come out 2002? I think it was about 12. I think it was about 11, 12 when it come out. And it was a bit beyond me at that age to play that. Oblivion was the first one that I really got into. I got that release on PC. But I only got it because Morrowind was so interesting. It was like an exotic game. It was so hard to get into it that it made playing Oblivion even more interesting to me because I saw it looked even more accessible. But you can't sell short just how important Morrowind is. From a graphical standpoint, it doesn't hold up very well nowadays. But like from an RPG gaming perspective, there's so much going for it.
Yeah.
It never held your hand once. There was no quest markers. There was no compass points, no fast traveling. It really was like the proper RPG fantasy experience. It let you make crazy spells like fucking running in the sky and flying with invisibility, and there was about 1 million different ways to complete every single quest. It was super fun. I've got to give you it. Like, it was amazingly good.
I mean, have you got anything to combat that? I mean, I feel like I need to argue for whatever you pick now to just try and even it out.
I mean, obviously, there is. If you're going to talk down RPGs, then you'd have to obviously talk about Phantasy Star Online.
Yeah.
It's not a game that I had a great deal of, because as I said, I didn't have the modem at the time. Like, we only really had the internet on the home console, and I wasn't savvy enough on the home PC, and I wasn't savvy enough to hook that up to the console at that point in time. So I never played.
Didn't know where to buy the lead.
Yeah, well, you know, I was quite.
It was a thing, yeah. You would have been about 9.
Yeah, I was about 9 at the time, so it was a bit beyond me at that point in time, and I couldn't really just go and ask mum and dad for, could I have this expensive thing, please? That wasn't a thing. But again,
you weren't top hat.
So it's kind of hard to do RPGs on the Dreamcast front for me personally.
I mean, Stuart Burrows says Skies of Arcadia.
Yeah, that's a good shout. I never actually played.
Stu actually, yeah.
I never actually played Skies of Arcadia. And Leader X says Phantasy Star Online was better on the Xbox. Anyway, but we'll ignore that comment.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what I will bring up. Someone did bring it up in the comments, and I was going to bring it up anyway. It's not RPG, but it had Resident Evil Code Veronica was on Dreamcast, man.
Yeah,
not
it's a good game, man.
Not Veronica X, which come out on all the other consoles. Code Veronica come out on Dreamcast.
Yeah, I mean, X was a better overall game.
Yeah, but obviously it couldn't have existed without the original.
Yeah, but you needed that first. And the fact that it was exclusive for such a long time as well, but you couldn't play it anywhere else.
And it's a solid as fuck game. It's really, really fun to play. Like, and it changed a few things up. Obviously, it still used hand controls, but the camera now had slight mobility about it. It wasn't perfectly fixed camera angles.
It was somewhere between 3 and 4.
Yeah, it was like almost like the 2.5D-ness approach of their camera angles. Like, they weren't static with pre-rendered backgrounds anymore and a few interactive sprites. It was now like it just felt more alive, and the camera did follow you a little bit more. The story's a little whack. Like, Steve Burnside, I think his name's Burnside, which is just so Japanese, it takes the piss.
We'll say Steve.
But yeah, Steve, and is one of the worst characters in gaming history.
Yeah.
I fucking hate Steve.
Steve's a bellend.
But he did have cool little twin gold Lugers, which were quite cute.
Which was excessive.
It was excessive. Bosses were quite good though. Like there was the plane fight with the tyrant. That's always quite memorable. Nosferatu, I can't remember his name. Under the Ashford's parents is like this sort of chained up, straight-jacketed monstrosity who had arms on his back. You fought him on a helipad. That was really cool.
Yeah.
And it took place in 2 distinct locations as well. It took place on the island, which I can't remember the name of at the moment. That'll annoy me. Someone put it in chat. That's going to annoy me. And then it also took place in Antarctica. And it was the return of Chris Redfield as well. Code Veronica had a lot going for it. It's a proper stellar game. It really is.
Yeah. We're going to go through these a little bit fast because I know a lot of the games that are on your list of games that you want to talk about, and they're not really that much that we can really drag out so much.
Okay, go on then.
So, I'm going to quickly talk about Steel Battalion on the Xbox. You know Steel Battalion? The peripherals on that were ridiculous. I'm not saying it's the best game in the world, but holy crap. The controller for that was amazing. I almost want one just to sit and have it in the background somewhere to make it look like I'm working at a fucking 1980s power plant. It was fucking incredible.
Was it the big one? Like
Yeah.
I do remember. That was really cool. Was really cool.
I mean, that thing was fucking amazing.
It was very cool.
Blew my mind, Steel Battalion. Couple of other games that are worth pointing out. There was an Oddworld game.
That's Stranger's Wrath, isn't it? On the Xbox. That was a weird game. I can't really say much about it because it really turned me off playing it.
It turned Oddworld game, great. Oddworld game, great. This one, no, I'm not playing any more ever.
Yeah, because then there was Munch's Odyssey after that, and I never
Yeah.
played that because of Stranger's Wrath, because that was more like a first-person shooter, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it was a weird one. I'm going to throw a couple out there that of lesser ones before I talk about some ones I can really get into. There was the sequel to MDK, MDK2, come out on... originally got bought out on Dreamcast.
Okay.
MDK 1 was one of my absolute all-time favourite games. I fucking love MDK. And MDK 2 was pretty much more or less the same. It was a little bit better graphically. Not as fun for me personally. I think I kind of burnt out on it a bit. But I think that was a game. A lot of people have a lot of fond memories about MDK series, and it's kind of one that I'd like to see come back at some point. It was really nicely stylised. You had that puzzle game, Choo Choo Rocket. Loads of people love Choo Choo Rocket. I've never been the biggest puzzle gamer actually, but I do remember playing a fair bit of Choo Choo Rocket. It was good fun.
It was very average.
Yeah, average is fair, I would say. Like it is because
This is where you. I remember your list as we were going through it before, just briefly, and I remember you going, "Oh, I got to put more exclusive in. There's like 5 good ones."
I know. But I will talk about a really good exclusive now.
Oh, go on.
Power Stone.
Oh yeah, Power Stone is an interesting game because we played it on stream
Ages ago
with Top
I wasn't
Hat
even
Game
on
Man.
stream.
No, Top Hat Game Man played it over on twitch.tv/Top Hat Chat, where we are going straight after this stream later on.
Nice plug.
And we do every Saturday at 9 p.m. UK time.
Nice plug.
Thank you very much. And yeah, he was. Let me think of the word, because he's a good gamer at a handful of things, but he was shit at Power Stone. Absolutely terrible. He has a habit of not pressing all the buttons, which is the opposite of what I do, is press all the buttons. That's why I always get really pissed off when I play Streets of Rage. Mm-hmm. Let's just fire all my fucking rockets. With no characters on screen, right at the beginning of every single fucking level, for the first, 6. Because I keep on pressing all the buttons as soon as I start. Yeah, anyway. So he was terrible at it, and it frustrated the hell out of me. But
it's a really good party.
It is good.
Fighter. It's very in sort of a similar vein to...
It's shit Smash.
No, is it shit though?
It is shit Smash.
Because it gave you that isometric 3D perspective.
Still shit Smash.
No, I really enjoyed it. I put more time into Power Stone 1 and 2 than I did into the original Smash.
Really?
The N64 version.
Well, the original Smash wasn't as good. Yeah.
N64 Smash is wank compared to Power Stone, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, when you get to Melee, yeah, Melee shits on it. But N64 version of Smash is shit compared to it.
We can kind of, yeah. Yeah, I can kind of agree.
There's a couple of more really big games I want to talk about. One of them I'm going to go through really quick. Ready to Rumble 2, Ready to Rumble Boxing. One of my absolute all-time favourite boxing games. It inspired my first ever...
Ready to Rumble was decent.
First ever email address was inspired by Afro Thunder. Because obviously I had an afro as well as... Had, yeah. Not anymore. But I actually really loved it. That arcade boxing style. It was a fucking really fun game to play.
Yeah.
Really good 2-player. Loved its pieces. It was super, super awesome. You also had Jet Set Radio. Massive game.
Right, okay, I'm just going to have a go, because you got Ready to Rumble. So, yeah, you had Ready to Rumble on the Dreamcast, but, I mean, we had UFC games on the Xbox.
UFC games on the Xbox original, you ever played them?
I played one of them, actually, yeah. I was about to say no, but actually, yeah, I did play one of them.
They're so bad.
Yeah, but...
They're nowhere... No. You can't compare it to Ready to Rumble. You can't. The original
I'm trying.
UFC games are so bad. So bad.
Alright, okay, well, I'll give you Ready to Rumble, but what I will not give you is Jet Set Radio.
Why?
Because the Xbox had Jet Set Radio Future.
And that's not as good.
But it's considerably better.
It's not considerably
but
better.
It is.
The original Jet Set Radio is fan-bloody-tastic.
Jet Set Radio Future had a better soundtrack.
What?
It fucking did. It was a much better game. It played better. It was smoother.
I want to yak. So hard.
You could play it on a better controller.
I want to yak so hard.
Oh, God. Yeah, Jet Set Radio Future, it was a considerably better game. Hands down.
No, I can't do it. No, I can't take it seriously. Look.
You're being screamed Outrigger, by the way.
Why am I an Outrigger? What? Oh, cool. Oh, sorry, I got confused because I was reading Top Hat Game Man's in the chat as well.
Oh,
and
yeah.
And he just confused me.
Hi.
He just confuses me in general. Okay, fair enough. If you're going to go for that, I know you're going to bring out a couple of big guns left, right? So I'm going to bring out one of my big guns. I'll let you bring out yours, and then I'm going to hit you with the finishing blow. Okay. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I'm going to bring out... Well, I've got two, so I'll bring out one. I'm going to put it for a twofer. Shadow Man, the Dreamcast version.
But it wasn't... It was
It's the best version of Shadow Man, and Shadow Man is a severely underrated game. Fucking prove me wrong. Shadow
Man's a decent game.
Massively underrated. Really good.
Shadow Man's a decent game, but you can play it on loads of stuff.
Go away. It also, though, it gave us home console ports of House of the Dead, including the remake of House of the Dead 2, Typing of the Dead. An educational game that was fun. No consoles can almost boast that shit. Typing of the Dead.
Kawashi's brain training, that was fun.
Way after.
Yeah, but
Way after. And it's not as fun as blowing zombies up typing words. It's not.
That's a fair point.
It's just not.
Yeah, Typing the Dead was decent.
It's a great educational title.
And again, House of the Dead, being able to play that in your own home was...
The best on-rail shooter of all time, in my opinion.
Time Crisis 2.
You know me, man. I love Time Crisis. House of the Dead 1, 2 to some extent, but 1 is the best on-rail shooter of all time.
No, I don't agree. But it's very good. It's up there. Definitely up there. Silver's just pointed out as well. Knights of the Old Republic on the Xbox.
Yeah, I can't. There's nothing.
You've got nothing. There was another Star Wars game on the Dreamcast.
What one?
I saw someone put it in chat. It's a fucking pod racing game.
Pod racing's good.
Or a racing game of some kind.
Pod racing's good.
Was it pod racing or regular
That's
racing?
what I'm just going to stick with.
But it's not as good as fucking Knights of the Old Republic. Knights of the Old Republic was ridiculous.
Yeah, KOTOR 1 and KOTOR 2 are both fantastic games.
There we go.
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah. I really love
it. It had a fucking Yu-Gi-Oh game.
Fuck Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yu-Gi-Oh was cool.
Fuck Yu-Gi-Oh, man. Right, yeah. Let's see what you're going to smash out against this, though.
Go.
Soul Calibur.
Yeah, you had Soul Calibur.
What do you mean, yeah, you had Soul Calibur 1 is dynamite.
Soul Calibur games on the Xbox as well. Not exclusives, but...
Not Soul Calibur 1. It might have got ported later. I don't think it did, though.
I don't think it did.
I don't think it did. I think you might have got 2.
But 1 was the worst.
No. If you're going to say that, then you've got to say Soul Blade.
Same as Tekken 1 was the worst. Same as Street Fighter 1 was the worst.
No.
Same as Mortal Kombat 1 was the
But
worst.
you've got to say Soul Blade is worse. It was Soul Blade.
Game.
It's not the same game. It's not.
Equaling shit.
No.
Anyway.
Soul Calibur, it was, graphically it was superb. Animations-wise, it was superb. Memorable characters, great soundtrack, really good. Weapons-based fighting, awesome stuff, man.
You just described 2.
No. Yeah, of course I did, because 2 was building on 1, you artard.
Exactly,
Come on.
building on making better. Yeah, so you've got True Ultimate God there, says Soul Calibur 2 is better. It just is.
No.
There we go. Street Fighter 3, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, SNK vs. Capcom 2, Soul Calibur, Techromancer.
There you go. Top Hat is helping me out in the chat. He knows what he's talking about with these sorts of things.
They need a wash. That's the dirtiest you've felt in a while. And you shit yourself this morning.
I love how he's now espousing Power Stone in chat. He hates it. He hates it.
Oh, what a melt. Okay, carrying on away from fighting games. You've got fucking Fable.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Fable's great. I fucking love Fable.
Fable's amazing.
Best Fable.
I mean, they fucked it in the later games.
2's good.
2's good, not as good as 1.
Terrible.
3, they fucked themselves.
Fable Lost Levels is the best version of Fable 1 to play, and I think that was for 360. Because it bundled the DLC, which was kind of a new idea at the time, into it. Yeah. But no, I can't. I really would struggle to say that Fable's a bad game, because it's just not. It's from my god Peter Molyneux. So yeah, I'm down for that.
Yeah, Fable was amazing. The thing is, you had all these great games, okay? So you had all these great exclusives. And the other thing that you have to take into account, and it's cheating. I'm going to hold my hands up and say this is fucking cheating, fighting for the Xbox's side. But you had so many multi-platform games that were so much better on the Xbox. And that did not happen on the Dreamcast. You didn't get it. You did not get it. GTA games were better on the Xbox. Most people played them on the PlayStation, but they were better on the Xbox.
Yeah, they did run really well on the Xbox. I will give it that. I will give it that. They did run really well on the Xbox. But there's one thing the Xbox...
Tony Hawk's Pro Skater ran better on the Xbox.
Maybe.
It also had an exclusive Tony Hawk's game, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2X.
I never played that.
Neither did I. But it was an exclusive, pointing that out. You had SSX Tricky.
Not an exclusive.
Not an exclusive, but it ran so much better on the Xbox than it did on the GameCube where I first played it. No, actually, I first played it on the PS2. I bought the GameCube one and enjoyed it, and it still runs better on the Xbox version.
Look. You can say all these games all you want. I'm going to come at you now with one last game.
Okay.
One last game, and I think it's going to shut your noise. And you're going to just go, yo, Orb, you're right. Dreamcast is superior. It is the better console.
If you say...
Don't you dare spoil my fucking thunder, I swear to God. Swear to God. Sonic Adventure.
I knew you were going to say that.
Sonic Adventure.
It is not that good.
The best 3D Sonic game.
It is not that good.
It's so good.
It was like decent.
The soundtrack. Everyone remembers that.
What was that from fucking Stomp?
No, that was... How dare you? That was from the Lost World area. You goddamn hypocrite. Oh, goddamn it, it's such a good game.
No, it's not. It's a very average game. But the problem is that it was on the Dreamcast. Compared to everything else that was on the Dreamcast, it looked great.
No, it's so good. It's so good. The 3D level, the fucking killer whale breaking through the pier as you're
Get
running
that
on
game and move it over onto the Xbox library, and it drowns out in a sea of stuff that's better.
No, it wouldn't. No, everyone would love and still adore it.
And if you moved it and ported it from the Dreamcast to the Xbox, it would run better as well.
No, I'm not listening. It's awesome. It belongs on the Dreamcast. It's an awesome game. Fantastic levels. Yeah, the camera sucked a bit. Yeah, it had more glitches in it than a Bethesda title. And yes, it started the trend towards making Mario games 3D, and on the whole, 3D Mario games suck.
So, in conclusion, the Xbox...
No. Sonic Adventure is a superb title. It really tried to go for something different and made it. And it introduced us to...
Yes.
How dare you? And it introduced us to Big the Cat. The fishing levels were superb. And I won't hear a bad word said about it.
Sorry. Big the Cat.
Big the Cat.
That is your reason.
No, it's one of many reasons.
But that's the main reason that you picked this game to be your kind of headline act in the reason why the Dreamcast had the best games. It was because it introduced Big the fucking Cat.
Because those levels were good when you try fishing for Froggy. Fishing for Froggy. Where are you? That was good. That was fun. It extended. There was like 5 playable characters in that game. It extended the runtime massively. Finding all the Chaos Emeralds in all the levels and everything. Great fun, man. The casino area. Eggman. This is the first time you actually get called Eggman in a worldwide release as well. So admittedly, I don't like that name as much as I like Robotnik.
So they used the wrong name in the title.
No. It's... Oh, you're so wrong, it hurts. It's such a good game. It's so good. It's so much fun. I had so many hours of entertainment with that game. Loads of people. Andy Aldrich knows what I'm going on about. He loved that game. All these people in chat love that game. And that's why they know the fucking Dreamcast is better than the Xbox.
Right. I'm gonna make some concessions. Okay? To try and appease you. Okay? The Dreamcast had a lot going for it. I mean, it pioneered online gaming, which is now commonplace. The controller was fine. And yeah, the Xbox probably learned a lot from the Dreamcast. But everything that the Dreamcast could do, the Xbox did better. Yes, it came out later. And yes, it flopped in Japan. Probably due to poor marketing and the fact that Japanese people are racist. That's the only reason I can think, because the Xbox is that good. You know... It did very well. It has got some cracking games on it.
It does have cracking games on it.
But when it sat there and kicked out the stall from Sega, who still potentially had so much more to do. It's depressing.
Whatever. I just can't believe you're going to think the Xbox wins. It's just painful.
It would be like praising the guy that shot Lennon.
What, Mark Chapman?
Yeah.
Why would it be like praising him?
Because there was so much more that they could have done, and he stopped it all. And this is what the Dreamcast did to Sega.
No, I think you'd have to look back at the mismanagement of the Saturn and the 32X / Mega CD is the main reason that Sega folded. Like the lack of proper communication between Sega America and Sega Japan.
Yeah, it's got some reason to do it, but this was the fight. This is the straw that broke the camel's back. You know, and for that, I refuse to allow it to be praised. Therefore, it can't win. I put you in this situation, and I apologise. But
I think people at home will agree.
I think that you can agree with me at least a little bit.
Well, if we didn't have a Dreamcast, we wouldn't have had Dreamcast Guy, as everyone says. So there you go. Dreamcast wins.
Good. Yeah. So yeah, the Dreamcast shot Sega.
How dare you?
That's how it goes. Yeah. So we would like to know your opinions in the comment section. Yeah. Is the Sega Dreamcast better than the Xbox, or have you got common sense and side with me? What other games did you enjoy playing? What games did we miss out? What games did we not talk about? Have you got any ideas for future videos? We would love to hear them. Drop them in the comment section. If you've enjoyed this video, always give it a like. It does help us out. If you fancy, you don't have to. It's your choice. You're not sheep. You're people. What else have I got to add? Oh yeah, you can find us over on Instagram. Just search for Top Hat Chat. We've also got our own personal accounts. Just search for Top Hat Street or Orbicus. We have a Patreon. You're welcome to use it. As well as these fine people have done: Tom Elliott, Bellboy, Vladis Vantonius, Seabass, and Andy Aldrich. Thank you all so much for contributing on our Patreon. And we are now heading over to Twitch at twitch.tv/Top Hat Chat, where we are going to be playing something.
Could be a little run through some Mega Drive shit.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've got some new tech that I want to talk about.
Yes.
So yeah, come over and find us for that. If you haven't already made an account, it takes about 30 seconds to do so and costs nothing. And you get to sit and watch us talk to you. There's a lot more interaction on there than there is on here. And you can ask us any questions you like, apart from stupid ones that Line Secret, our resident mod, had to deal with. Thank you for that, Secret. Yeah, so we're heading over now. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate your time so much. We'll see you next video. Catch you later.